This is a brand new Elves Vanyar Pro Disc, and it's a bit like supermarket own brands. They use the same ingredients, usually taste the same, but cost you a lot less money. So Elves started by making frames for well-known brands back in the early 2000s, and then in 2016 they established Elves as their own brand, and for 2023 this is their latest state-of-the-art bike. So before we go through the details and go for a spin, let's start with the price and value for money. One of the reasons for choosing a Chinese bike brand over the last few years has been, let's be honest, the price. You can save a lot of money compared to more mainstream brands. So the bike I have here with a carbon frame, fork, handlebar and stem and wheels and Ultegra Di2 retails for £4,000, which in the current economic market is a good price. For comparison, the brand new Specialized Tarmac S8 with the same parts is £8,000, so half the price of that Tarmac, which is pretty amazing. But perhaps a better comparison is something like the Canyon Ultimate, which with the same group set, DT Swiss wheels and a power meter, which the bike does not have, is £4,800. And that is still a big chunk of cash for sure, but a smaller gap than the one to the Specialized. And then on the scales, this bike is lighter than the Canyon, 7.6 versus 7.8, but the Tarmac is 7.2, so the lightest bike here by quite a margin. If you really want to save money, then buying a frame set is the best option. Just over £800 for a frame like this is good value for money compared to even a mid-range frame like my own Giant TCR Advanced Pro Disc, which is twice the price, although the Giant is about 100 grams lighter. In a marketplace of road bikes that, let's be honest, increasingly look the same, you can't accuse Elves of just copying Canyon, Specialized or Trek because it looks nothing like them at all. It looks distinctive and unique. We have this almost horizontal level top tube, small drop rear stays, kind of curved seat tube, big aero down tube into a press fit bottom bracket and quite a slender fork. And then up front, we had their own one-piece carbon aero handlebar and stem with the cables and hoses inside the frame and quite a few spaces to adjust the height of the handlebars. Now, as much as I like a horizontal top tube, and I do, the downside compared to a compact frame where the top tube slopes more is there's not much seat post outside of the frame, and that does impact ride comfort because there's not much seat post to bend back and forth, which is the main form of comfort on a bike like this. We'll talk about it more in the ride section later. And when we look at the actual geometry numbers, we can see it's very close to a 56 centimeter Tarmac. This is a 56, although they label it XL, which is strange because most bike brands go for medium or large for a 56. But the numbers are very similar. Head angle, seat tube angle, wheelbase, the stack and the reach are very similar to that bike. But the main difference is the head tube height. It's very short. And one nice thing about Elves is you can customize the way it looks. The colors, all the details you can change for no extra cost. And they have loads and loads of options on their website. Definitely worth a look and a play around with the customization on offer. Well, yes, I think so. During my time riding the bike, it's given me no issues, no cause for concern, no squeaks, rattles, nothing come loose, nothing broken. It's been quiet, solid and fuss free. And after spending some time with Craig, who is an ultra distance cyclist, he has put that bike through some serious punishment, way more than I could do with any test bike. And the frame has stood up just fine. So if it's good enough for him, if it survives the riding he does, then I think it should be just fine. Now the frame is covered by a 5-year warranty, the same as you get from Pinarello, but not a lifetime warranty you get from Trek or Specialized. And there is now a UK team to look after any issues you might have. But that said, there are a few niggles that I would like to see improved. The first one is this. The through axle protrudes from the fork dropout. Doesn't cause any issue when riding the bike, but just looks really bad. So hopefully that's something they can improve on. Quite an easy fix, that one as well, I think. And the other one is the rubber flap that goes over the seat clamp, which while it works, is a bit loose fitting and a bit ugly looking, so a more low profile one that sits flush with the bolt would be nice to see. Righty ho, let's see what the bike is all about. Out for a nice sunny spin on my local roads, but there is a big cloud formation up ahead. So hopefully we'll miss that. So the one thing that really struck me about riding this bike over the last few weeks is how normal it feels. If I was blindfolded and you told me I was riding a Specialized or a Trek perhaps, I believe you. There's nothing from riding a bike that gives me any cause for concern. It just feels like a good race bike. Fast, stiff, responsive, goes like the clappers, so it rides really well. And I think that's a relief for a lot of people looking at a bike like this, because the price isn't the only reason. The performance is good enough to buy the bike, to justify the bike over other brands. Now, part of the reason it seems so similar to other race bikes isn't the geometry. The numbers are very, very close to a tarmac of the same size. The stack, the reach, the wheelbase, the head and seat tube angle. So it's no surprise really. It responds and rides in a very similar nature. So it handles and performs just how you want a race bike too. Fast steering, quick direction changes, stiff, explosive, and bloody quick. Fits is good, feels similar to my TCR, as long as low as I want to go these days. God knows how low the front end would be if the stem was slammed. Don't think I could do that anymore, guys. Don't think I've got the flexibility on the back to handle such a low front end. There's no lack of frame stiffness either when you're out of the saddle powering up a climb or sprinting. There's plenty of stiffness, it's not flexing. At least I can't really feel any undue hint of flex or anything like that. So a very stiff platform. The ride quality in terms of smoothness is good, but not the best in class. Not as good as my TCR or the Tarmac. Definitely quite a bit more feedback through the contact points. The saddle or the seat post can't flex as much because there's not much exposed from the frame. And the tyres, they're okay, but you could go to a higher quality tyre and go tubeless as well for slightly lower pressures. But it does feel like a race bike from a few years ago in terms of that compliance and comfort on offer. So not my first choice for a race bike with a strong comfort leaning. The new Tarmac, the TCR, those bikes are really setting the benchmark when it comes to race bikes that deliver amazing smoothness. Of course, no race bike can match an endurance bike for outright comfort, so make sure you check out my recent three-way shootout between the Canyon, the Giant and the Specialized. The company's own one-piece handlebar stem works well. Reasonably nice shape, not too stiff, not too flexy. It's not my personal favourite of all the options on the market right now. Got a really fat stem which looks a bit ugly to my eyes, and the drops are really skinny, got a really narrow diameter for drops, so it feels like holding two pencils. Very strange. It does give you lots of feedback through the drops, but less comfort. So really quite a peculiar shape to handlebars, but really nitpicking. Nice sturdy computer mount with GoPro, Wahoo, Garmin options. I'm also impressed with the saddle too. Their copy of a Physique Specialized 3D printed saddle. Nice amount of cushioning, nice shape. Really look after my sit bones nicely. It's a nice bit of icing on the cake of this bike. One thing I really can't stand about this bike, it absolutely drives me mad, is the sound of the free hub. It's so noisy. I don't mind a loud free hub, but this one is taking the biscuit is so loud. But at least dog walkers and the horse riders can hear you coming, that's for sure. The wheels definitely help on the scales, keep the whole bike to a reasonable weight of 7.6 kilos. And I've been impressed with the wheel too. Nice ride quality, not too stiff, no flex really, nice low profile, definitely give the bike a nice sparkly ride character, definitely help on the heels as well, feels good out of saddle when you're throwing the bike around, nice energetic, lively feel from these wheels. The tyres are okay, good for this time of year, kind of sturdy rather than supple. So the way the bike rides definitely hasn't given me any cause for concern over the last few weeks. Doesn't do anything unexpected or unpredictable, nothing quirky or janky about it, other than the really small head tube. It goes and stops and feels just like a premium mainstream bike brand. And that in itself is very impressive. Okay, time to wrap up the review with my verdict. Is the Elves Vanyar Pro Disc any good? Well, yes. Performance is good, it's safe, it's reliable, and it's good value for money as well. Definitely cheaper than mainstream rivals. The only friction is in buying it and being prepared to wait 8 weeks for a frame to arrive. But here in the UK, things are starting to change and look really positive. The local team are beginning to offer complete builds for certain frame sets and specifications, so you skip the whole queue and get a complete bike with no delays, and that is a really positive thing to see. So many reasons to consider an Elves Vanyar Pro Disc like this, and I do expect to see the rise of Chinese bike brands like this and others that we have seen over the last few years become a bigger factor in our buying decisions in the future, which is no bad thing. More choice, more competition is always good. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down there for more reviews like this on a regular basis. But I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.